United States is cutting short Gaza ceasefire talks and bringing home its negotiating team from Qatar. U.S. envoy Witkoff termed Hamas's approach a lack of desire to reach a ceasefire. Witkoff blamed Hamas for the ceasefire failure and said Washington, D.C. would now consider alternative options. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that his government was still seeking a ceasefire despite recalling its negotiators from Doha. He accused Hamas of blocking an agreement and added that Hamas should not view Israel's willingness to reach a truce deal in Gaza as a weakness.
We are working to get another deal to release our hostages. But if Hamas perceives our willingness to reach a deal as a weakness, as an opportunity to dictate lines of defeat that will endanger Israel, it is greatly mistaken.
On the ground in Gaza, the situation shows signs of worsening by the hour under a continued Israeli blockade. The death toll due to starvation is now up to 113. The UN Humanitarian Office said that at least 13 children's deaths were reported in July alone, with the number growing daily. The head of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, warned that when child malnutrition surges, coping mechanisms fail. Access to food and care disappears, and famine silently begins to unfold.
The child is suffering from lack of food and drink. There is no food, nothing to drink. Everything is so expensive. As you can see, the flour is expensive. Even the water. We spend 2 or 3 hours filling up one bucket.
In greater numbers than ever, children hollowed up by hunger are overwhelmingly the patient's friend's hospital. The main emergency center for malnutrition kids in northern Gaza. The worst cases are kept for up to 2 weeks at the center's 10-bed ward, which this month has had up to 19 children at a time. 5 deaths last weekend also marked the first seen by the center in children who had no pre-existing conditions. Not just children, starvation horrors extend to pregnant mothers and the entire population. Doctors warn the worst may be yet to come.
Today we are talking about 150 cases in 1 week of pregnant and lactating mothers who are exhausted and unable to breastfeed, and baby formula is at exorbitant prices. They can't produce milk. The pregnant women are malnourished and result in malnourished babies, so instead of 1, we have 2 cases.
The situation in Gaza has given rise to protests worldwide against Israel's stance. Within Israel, too, there have been calls for the government to take measures to ease the suffering of people in the enclave. On Thursday, Israeli police dispersed and arrested activists in Haifa City protesting against the war in Gaza. Similar protests have been held in Tel Aviv, but with peace hopes having fallen through again, relief for the people who need it remain as distant as ever. Earlier on the broadcast, we were joined by Chris Doyle, who is a director of CABU, Council for Arab-British Understanding, and the current lead spokesperson for CABU. Listen in to what he had to say.
There probably is a desire for a ceasefire, but on Israel's terms. That is that, first of all, Netanyahu has his own particular timetable. The Knesset, that is the Israeli parliament, goes into recess for the summer on Monday. And this is very crucial to him because he needs to keep his coalition together. He has lost 2 parties from it in the last few weeks. So that is an important date for him. But he's also been playing for time for quite a while now, in that he wants to see protracted negotiations on this. He's not in a rush to get that ceasefire. But where the pressure is on him is internally, because so many Israelis, increasing the majority of the Israelis, are against this war. They want to see greater efforts to get the hostages released. And I think Netanyahu is more interested in getting the hostages released than a genuine ceasefire.